with that said, like parts of hip hop always had to play with videos and stuff like that, right? The video era really propelled hip hop to another level, and music and R&B music and all that stuff like that. So we got a next guest coming on, but I remember, guys, do y'all remember Video Music Box back in the day?
Of course.
Do y'all remember how to when that came on? How you make you feel you ran home and everything? You press record. For you young people, something called the VCR. So you used to press it, record the video, right? And then you played them on Sundays when we couldn't get any black movies and videos back in the day. So with that said, Jamie, can you play a little clip from back in the day so people can refresh their memory of what we about to talk about and who we about to bring on?
Welcome to New York's #1 video show, Video Music Box, and VJ Ralph McDaniels. Of course, putting it down. It's a Friday night street party, and you know how we get down. Bringing you the hottest events around town, and the Dejon brothers is out at Club Exit tonight, as well as catching up with new recording artists, Emil from the Rockefeller family. Video Music Box, your Uncle Ralph, putting it down. Friday night street party.
Smalls doing his thing in the rap world. That's right, baby. What's up, man? From dance tracks to Video Music Box, I'm back with you, man. What's up?
I mean, I'm just chilling, man. Trying to stay out of trouble.
Now, the big question for me to you, Mary, is how have you been able to manage that formula to stay so consistent in the game of R&B?
Well, at first I remember that what people appreciate me for. They appreciate me for being myself, and that's what carries me a long way. And being myself, I'm not, I'm touchable. You can touch me. You can talk to me. You can see me on the street. You can see me shopping. That's just Mary J. Blige.
Now, Destiny's Child has been, how long has it been now? About 2 years or?
The group has been out about 2.5, 3 years. We've been together for 10 years. And just recently we had a change in the group, 2 new members, Farrah and Michelle.
Yeah, of course, there was a lot of discussion about that on radio stations. As a matter of fact, we got a chance to listen to part of it on Hot 97. I believe that you were talking with Angie Martinez, it might have been?
Yeah, a while back.
It was a while back.
Yeah.
So,
remember that.
You remember that? That's my dude right there.
I remember that. Yeah.
Big Kid, Ralph McDaniels. This guy's bringing out, and my man, our guest, Ray Dejon.
What's up, Ray?
Yo, what's
going
up,
on,
Ray?
y'all?
How you feeling, Ray?
Good.
You good? Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, we got okay. Yeah, good, man. Yeah, goddamn. I was looking at the video. I'm like, shit, my hair was black. I was like, yo, is that me? Is that young Ray right there?
Yo, Ray. Hey, brother, you still have hair. My shit is shining on this joint right now.
Yeah. I was backstage checking out a few people's hairlines. Some of you guys made a very conscious decision to cut it off.
Hey, you make a business decision, man.
You don't want to walk around. You don't want to walk around with the Lou Rawls hairline.
You'll never find a hairline like mine.
I was checking out your guests, man. And first of all, I was falling asleep because I was supposed to go on at 7:50.
Oh man, sorry, Ray.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I mean, I'm old now, so. I was checking out your guest, Anton, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice? Because I'm very observant about a lot of things. Did you notice in his background he had the grandma bookcase? Did you see that? And he had the original internet. Y'all didn't see that? No. Now, I don't know if y'all caught it because I'm very observant. When I say the original internet, he had every single version of the encyclopedias in that bookcase.
Wow.
Britannica encyclopedia. That was our internet back in the day.
That was our internet, brother. Word up.
Right, damn, that's why this dude is smart as hell.
Yo, word up. My parents only go forward to 1979 though. That was it. That was it for me.
Yeah,
so Ray, we happy that we have you on the show. But you guys don't understand how much y'all really meant. Just personally to me, with bringing videos, hip hop, all of us got a chance to see people that look like us on the screen, or how you guys took from just the music on the radio and you propelled us and gave us vision just having this platform for so many years. Like I went from probably elementary, maybe middle school on to high school to college, following Video Music Box. So Ray, I want to thank you for that, man, and we truly appreciate you for that. You know,
well, I mean, before we go any further, you know, one thing about me is I have to acknowledge other people, because we are all made of each other. We're products of each other. You know, we learn from each other. We're influenced by each other. And the gentleman who gave me my start, of course, I got to pay homage to VJ Ralph McDaniels. He is the founder of Video Music Box, which began over 35 years ago. We're working on our 37-year anniversary right now. But I have to, take my hat off to Ralph and give him his props. But before I got on his video show, I was on another show. I don't know if you guys remember this, called Dance Tracks USA. This guy named Tony Two.
I remember that.
God damn, Ray, brought it back, man.
Yeah, that show was on once a week, but Video Music Box was on 6 days a week.
Yeah,
I kept saying to myself, I got to get on Ralph McDaniel's show. I got to get on that show. Let me get some experience on dance tracks, and I'm gonna keep approaching Ralph. So I kept going down to City Hall in Manhattan, where his office was at, and I kept bugging him. He shot me down like 10, 15 times. Until one week, it was December in the holiday season, and it was very busy for Video Music Box. They were doing an enormous amount of tapings, and Ralph was like, all right, man, I'm gonna give you a shot. And ever since then, man, it's history. And he put me on, see, Video Music Box, every day was a different theme. Mondays was reggae night. Tuesdays was Tasty Tuesdays with the slow videos. So that's where he put me at. He put me with the slow videos because he was like, yeah, you know, you the fly type dude. You like dressing like Puffy and all of them. I'm going to put you on Tuesday night. Then you had Wednesday was neutral. Then you had Nervous Thursdays with Crazy Sam. And Friday and Saturday was any one of us. Tuffy, myself, Skeletor. And it was just a
Skeletor. Wow, bro.
Yeah, Skeletor was Wendy Williams' assistant.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's good he put you on Tuesday because that's when you light-skinned motherfuckers were popping back then. So, you know, Christopher Williams, you know what I'm saying? Y'all curly hair motherfuckers. Tuesday was the light-skinned brothers nice. So let me ask you a question. So what, like right now, I can't find videos unless I go on YouTube. What do you think changed an industry that made it now so hard? You have to really search, because remember MTV used to be, they show videos, BET used to show videos, now they have all reality shows. What you think made it change from going from music to?
Well, I'll tell you the exact reason why. It's the money. First of all, okay, everything started to fade away when social media came on the scene. When social media came on the scene and new different types of cameras started coming out. At one point, you know, you had Video Music Box, Ralph McDaniels doing videos, and you only had about 3 or 4 people that were go-to people to do the videos, but the record labels were spending a lot of money on the videos. They were spending a lot of money, investing a lot of money into the artists. Social media came into play. The money that the record labels were spending, they were starting to cut back because people were starting to develop their own exposure on social media. So that social media was the labels were pulling back the bread and not wanting to spend as much money on the videos anymore. Then you had all these different types of video shows that were coming out. At one point, we were the only ones in the game. And then Dr. Dre and Ed Lover came in with Yo MTV Raps. They kind of emulated our show. But once they found out a way to do it cheaper, you would only see A-list artists with the videos. Everybody else was kind of left out in the cold. They weren't investing. They weren't giving you no upfront money anymore. You were not getting all of that. You had to prove yourself at one point in the industry. Prove yourself, and then we'll assist you and support you in promoting your record. If you're not making a buzz on your own, like Wu-Tang did when they started selling albums out of the trunk and getting that exposure on your own, people are not willing. They weren't willing to sign you, and they weren't willing to spend a lot of money on the videos. In the beginning, the labels had a lot of bread. They were spending enormous amounts of money on the video. They start cutting back.
That's interesting.
Ray, let me ask you this question. This is something that has bothered me for a while. Years ago, I guess in the early 90s, you could have 20 different artists on the radio. And as of late, it just seems like you have 3 rappers or 4 rappers. It's just not the same. Man, I'm saying these people still have talent. Where did they go? Why is it that it is so rare to have diversity on? You know, I look at female rappers. There's the same 2 now. It used to be 8. It used to be, you know, even with the guys. So why is it, you know, so rare to see a lot of people in the field now?
You mean that the playlist is a lot shorter? You're saying?
It seems like a lot.
Hot 97 belongs to Drake and a few other people. That's
my point exactly.
So, I mean, in my opinion, again, revenue streams are very limited now. There's very little ways to get money from a sponsor. So when they do the analytics on music, a lot of the radio stations, they have to follow billboards. Billboards is probably the #1, you know, reputable analysis for music. So if the radio station, I mean, they may take it on satellite, on Sirius XM, it's a little different because it's a radio station where you have to subscribe and you got to pay for it. Mm-hmm. But regular mainstream radio, terrestrial radio, no one subscribes. So if it's not an album, an artist that's really making noise, they're not going to put them in the playlist because it's going to take away from listenership and it's going to take away from the money that radio stations are making. Mm. Bottom line, they run those computers. Like, let me tell you something. If a radio jock, if it's outside of Flex, and the only reason why Flex could do it is because Flex has a contract that's airtight. But all these other radio personalities, with the exception of a few, if they put on a song that's not in the playlist, yo, the fines that they get and the possibility or the potential of them getting fired, I'm telling you, it's crazy. Wow. So they all. I used to think that a radio jock can just put whatever he wants on. It's not even like that. If it's not on the playlist in the computer, I know because I was on Radio 103.9. Yep. And during my show, they gave me a flexibility of maybe 7 minutes because I had a new artist spotlight where I can put that in. But then they also had to bring sponsors with the new artist spotlight. But other than that, I had to follow each song that came up on the computer. Wow. So right now, it's more about revenue than anything else. If you develop your own situation on a social network and you demand a certain amount of followers, then you can start asking for money. So now it's like, show it to me, I'll give it to you. If you don't have it, I'm not giving you nothing.
Yeah, corporate America destroyed it, man. I mean, we have a request line back in the day. You could shout out, play a little song for your girl back in the day. You can't do none of that shit anymore. It took away from the fans. But you had loyal fans when you did stuff like that. People would do that stuff, but they took it away from that, man.
By the way,
yo, Ray, let me ask you a question. Go ahead.
But before you get to that, I want to say this because I don't want to forget this thought. So Anton was saying that he battled. Who was it that he battled?
Magoo.
So rest in peace to Ecstasy from Houdini. So you guys know that the theme song of Video Music Box is a Houdini song.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
All right. So and Didi, you're not gonna believe this. So back in the days before Houdini came out, I was also a rapper. I lived around the corner from. He lived in White Core Projects, which was right next to Gowanus, and I was in Red Hook. And so we used to do, battles in the park when we used to bring the speakers out there. I used to battle against Ecstasy.
Wow.
He has a twin brother that looks exactly like him.
He like him, yeah, he does.
We used to call him Heckle and Jekyll, both of them. So before I did a career in Elmira Correctional Facility, before I went on vacation there, I was a rapper.
Wow. Yo, Ray, let me ask you a question. I always remember you from doing tons of interviews, right? What was your first interview? I saw you interviewed Beyonce, but besides Beyonce, what was your first interview early in your career that you said, whoa, I got to interview him or her, that made you really, that put you out of place?
Wow.
You knocked you off your feet, in other words.
Stevie Wonder.
Wow. Yeah, that was
dude. Yeah. I was nervous as shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yo, they gave me all these notes. Ralph gave me. He said, "Yo, when you get there, go to the producer. He's gonna give you all the bullet points because a lot of times when we do a press day and Video Music Box was invited, they would give us all these bullet points in the bio and all this stuff about people. But Stevie Wonder, I was so nervous that he saw me being nervous. This nigga was like, "I see you shaking." He saw you. He saw you.
Yo.
I'm happy you could have a glimpse.
Yeah.
No, I was. No,
a lot of people say Stevie can see.
Yo, he felt my vibe that I was nervous. He said, "Hey, man, it's all good, man. It's all good. Ask your questions." Him and Beyonce was a rising star at the time.
At the time, yeah.
And I believe like there was rumors even that's when when I interviewed her, she was doing the hook on Emil's song when Rockefeller signed the first female, Emil.
Okay, yeah, I remember Emil.
Label, and Jay-Z decided that he wanted to make his directorial debut, so he was directing the Emil video, and Beyonce happened to be there to sing the hook on the song.
Okay,
that's why she was there, and I think that is around the time when Jay-Z started smashing.
Whoa.
Damn.
Can't blame him for that, right? Can't blame him for that.
Wow.
So I think it was, and that was a long time ago.
Yeah, that's long.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, are you amazed at some of them how the careers went? I mean, the people that you just showed, I mean, forget it. I mean, they put together over 20 years now.
Yeah, you know what's so cool about it? Especially like one person that I really respect a lot, even though he's very egotistical, and being on Video Music Box, you get to be backstage, you get to be up close and personal, you get to hang out, you go to cities, you go to the after parties, and you mingle. So I got to mingle on a personal level with a lot of people, and there's like for instance, Kanye West. Kanye West, what we've seen in the media eventually about his ego and he's narcissistic like Donald Trump, I saw that a very long time ago. I saw that before he had his first single out. When Jay-Z put his albums out and Kanye had produced a couple of songs, one day I went to do, it was an album release party for Jay-Z, and I'm there, I'm interviewing people, I'm getting ready to interview Jay-Z, and one of the producers said, "Hey, Ray, can you do me a favor and interview this guy right here, Kanye? He did a song on the album. I want you to interview him." So I went over to him with the camera, and I was like, "Yeah, so they told me to do an interview. Can we go do it now?" He's like, yo, you gotta give me a minute. You gotta give me some time. I looked at him, I was like, "Nigga." Yeah, like, who the fuck are you? That was one time. The second time, I'm at Hot 97 Summer Jam. We backstage, Kanye just came out with a song. So the song was hot. They decided to let him come out and do the single. He backstage, my brother was doing these airbrush shirts. My brother was the first one to do Biggie, Tupac. It was hot at the time. It was being sold in Dr. J's. And he blew up after I put the shirts on a lot of artists because I had that access. So we did one with Kanye's face on it. So I gave Kanye his shirt. I'm like, "Yeah, Kanye, you can throw this on. We're going to do an interview with you." So he's like, "All right, cool." He said, "Yo, man, I don't usually do this," but he's like, "All right, cool." So he's getting ready to put the shirt on, and the camera dude puts the camera up. Kanye loses his mind. Yo, nigga, cut that shit off, son. Yo, word up, man. I can't be seen like that. Yo, word, man. Yo, put that shit down. I'm like, looking at this nigga. He's like, "Yo, let me tuck that shit in first." That was around the time when the clothes was getting tight.
Yeah.
It wasn't. We were just moving away from the baggy shit,
the big stuff. Yeah.
And Kanye was starting to change that, because he's a fashion dude. But it was even at that time, man. And I seen this guy's personality. I'm like, "Yo, this dude right here is an asshole, bro."
Wow.
And sure enough, eventually, the public starts to see it. But I get to see all of this backstage.
Yeah.
So when Puffy sees me now in public, because I remember he was a dancer. I did something on 125th Street in front of the state office building. We was doing. I was hosting something out there. Puffy wasn't even.
There he goes.
Yeah, and he was a video dancer. That's how far back I know Puff.
Wow.
I see the evolution of his career, and when I see him now, he'll see me across the room. Yo, Ray, come here. And he, I go up to him and I talk to him like a regular person, man. It's just amazing that, all the experiences that I've had, I would never change it. First of all, every rapper that has died, I've interviewed, from Aaliyah to Big Pun to Freaky Ty, Tupac. I interviewed Biggie, all of them. I mean, I've got archives of shit that sometimes I don't even believe that I was, with these guys when the whole shit started.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. What was the biggest interview you ever had in terms of like maybe relevance? Maybe socially relevant or relevant in your life or career at the time. What would you say is the biggest one that you had?
The biggest interview that I felt was a big interview was with Eminem.
Okay.
Because he was just fire I know they were talking. Oh, by the way, my top two rappers of all time is Vanilla Ice and MC Hammer.
Yo, my favorite rap group is 357.
Yeah.
Eminem was on superstar status at the time when I interviewed him. So it was a big interview for me. And I used to be impressed sometimes when Ralph goes, "You do the interview, right? You do it." I'm like, "Word?" And he'll be there. Ralph will be there. And he'll go, "Yo, Ray." I never thought that he would say, "You do it." Even with Biggie. I think that when I did I interviewed Biggie 3 times. But the one that you saw was at Ralph McDaniel's birthday party. We was at an event in the city with Ralph's party. And Biggie came and Jay-Z freestyled that night. Biggie performed. Puffy was there. It was crazy. And y'all remember the Ark in Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Yes.
So the Ark is the first time when I seen like Busta and KRS-One. And by the way, KRS-One is in my top 10. I don't know if you guys ever had a chance to see him live, like really, really perform.
Yeah.
But that nigga is amazing, bro.
Amazing. Nobody can follow behind him.
Amazing. He's amazing.
Him and DMX are the only 2 rappers I can think of right now. I think nobody want to follow behind. DMX is a different kind of energy on when he comes on stage. And KRS-One.
Yeah.
And one thing I want people to know, Scott LaRock lived down the block from me in Queens, and my man Brad can testify that. He used to be at Scott House. Me and his brother Chris hung out all the time. So Scott, when he went at Queens, I had to go at Scott out there. I was like, "Yo, bro, you're down the block." We almost had a little battle on the block there, man. But so Ray, let me ask you a question, man. Which video you ever saw I said we can't play this goddamn video on the show? This shit is whack. You ever said that to him?
See that. I really wasn't involved in that. That was all Ralph. But Ralph wouldn't play anything that was. It was too much. He called it, TNA, too much titties and ass.
Okay.
I wouldn't put it on the show.
Right.
Anything with nigga, like all that kind of stuff, Ralph wouldn't put it on the show. But one thing that I've realized though, Didi, over time is that there's some artists that I felt were whack, but that was my own subjective opinion. And, if somebody played a few songs for me, the one that we normally think is not going to be the hit is the one that normally becomes the hit. So it's like, yeah, I didn't think this was going to be all that, but this shit right here is number 1, on the Billboard. Just crazy how so I try my best to be neutral. I didn't want to treat any artist different than any other because, let's face it, at the time when I was with Video Music Box, the whole hip hop industry was growing up. We were in the infantile stages. Ralph was the first one to give a visual to somebody's music. We would hear people and like, "Yo, what does this nigga look like? Like, who is this dude?" Like, people wanted to see it. And so it was an amazing part of the evolution of hip hop where Ralph was able to take it and now put a face to it. where people can see those people performing their music, and then along with the fashion and the graffiti and the dancing and the whole hip hop culture, because it's made up of a whole bunch of different elements. It's not just the music, it's the culture behind it, and it all worked together. You guys may not even notice either. So Ralph had a fashion show we did every year called Fat Fashion. And Anichi, Fubu got founded at our fashion show. There was some Korean financiers there, and that's where Fubu got their start. Damon John will always tell you that, and it's in his bio, that the first time anybody recognized for us, by us, was at one of our fashion shows called Fat Fashion. So that's why, like, you know, the whole culture to me is just an amazing thing that we've all been through. I'm a little older than you guys, but I got to see it from the beginning, man. I'm just happy that Ralph gave me that opportunity. So, you know, now when I look back and I reflect, I'm like, shit, man. I remember there was no videos. I remember.
Yeah. Ray, let me ask you this last one from me. Because of that, in the 90s, I remember everybody was trying to become a rapper. I mean, everywhere you went, everybody's trying to buy studio time. How was it for you to go somewhere in public? I'm sure people were trying to break their neck to either give you tapes or something. I mean, I can only imagine the stories it could have been. How was that?
It was crazy. First of all, and I worked for Ralph, but if you were on TV and you worked for Ralph McDaniels, the hottest video show in the tri-state area, and by the way, regional video show, Ralph got a Billboard's award 22 years in a row for the #1 regional video show. And a lot of people don't know that Billboard's had awards for local stuff as well. And although we were only in the tri-state area, we were trendsetters and a difference maker in the music industry. It's like, okay, if you want your song played, you got to go to Flex, but if you want your video played, you got to get it on Video Music Box. So when they would see me in the street, and believe it or not, Kelvin, even today, even up until today, people give me music to try to get it, even up until today. Now, back then, every time I left my house, somebody was giving me a cassette tape or a CD. And sometimes, you know, Crazy Sam would go, yo, niggas give me some shit, I'm a frisbee that shit. Like, yo, and I used to get a bunch of them. Give them a rap, because if some music is going to be played or a video is going to be played, it's got to go through Ralph anyway. You know, I respect the chain of command. It's like, I never, and I think that's why me and Ralph are still friends until today, is because I respect Ralph. I never stepped on his toes. I thought it was a platform for me to eventually take my popularity. I'm not even going to say celebrity. I'm going to say popularity and put it to good use and develop my own lane and create my own lane, which you guys know I am, you know, 100% into the comedy game right now. Music is in my heart. I still love music. I get hired to host a lot of old school hip hop concerts, whether it's at the Barclays or the Garden or wherever. I still love doing that. I enjoy it. But comedy, I decided to do comedy because I didn't want to step on Ralph's toes. I didn't want to go start my own video show. I didn't want to go to a label and ask for sponsor money, because I would be getting it in the name of Video Music Box. That's where I got my name from. So if I go there, they're going to give it to me on that strength. So then if Ralph goes and follows behind me to Sony, and Sony goes, oh, we just gave Ray $10,000. That's when Ralph would have been like, yo, nigga, what you doing? Right. You know what I mean? So I respected the game. I respected the principles in the game, and I used it to my advantage. So now, not only do I still call Ralph for things, but he calls me also. So we have a nice fair exchange in what we do in the industry.
So Ray, man, like, you know, I know you for a super long time. Yeah, I still look in good shape. I got a picture I gotta show in a little video, man. So producer Jamie, show something on Ray. Let's see how this motherfucker keep doing it. Go ahead, Jamie.
All right, y'all know what it is. It's workout season. Now it's free because the parks are available. No more paying for the gym. You got to get your workout on. I'm Get ready to reach my 57th birthday. This is how I do it in the park.
All right, my bad. All right, man.
See, Ray,
Ray,
I'm saying?
Ray, you look like you just came home from unpaid parking tickets. You working?
Yo, Rodney, let me tell you, man. Yeah. So that's a good segue into the fact that yeah, I do have a history, man. And again, man, yo, you don't understand how humbled I am that Ralph gave me a shot, because everything works hand in hand. Listen, guys, I've been arrested like 32 times. I did 3 bids. My last bid was 3 years. I mean, I started off as a teenager, fucking up, bro, selling drugs and doing everything that I did, man. So got my GED while I was incarcerated. Started college, came out in the street. Couple of years in the street, Ralph gave me a shot, bro. So like, I was very young, man, when I started with Ralph. I've known Ralph like 30 years now. You know what I mean? And the reason why I still do pull-ups is because jail is still in me, man. I do a jail workout. I don't know anything different than that. And
that's the best workout, though, Ray.
Yeah,
that's the best workout. Those calisthenics. That's the thing that gets your body right.
Ray looked like one of them dudes that's in one of them Viagra commercials that was about to get in the tub with his lady. You know what I'm saying? No. You know, he got his gray hair shining. He still the dudes with the good hair.
Don't be mad at that. Don't be mad at none of that. You better bring that shit in your life.
No, you know that.
You get ready to smash, you gotta ask her 3 questions. Listen, you want me to fuck the shit out of you? You want to have regular sex? Or do you want me to jail rape your ass? You want me to jail rape you? I need a Red Bull, a Jamaican drink, and a Viagra. Wow. I will destroy you. You want regular dick? Huh? What? I'm just drinking orange juice.
Yo, Ray, funniest story behind the scenes with a celebrity. Funniest story you can remember.
Funniest story. Let me see. Oh, it's funny, but it's sensitive, but it's funny.
Okay.
So every year, Fat Joe and the Terror Squad would always get a float for the Puerto Rican Day Parade.
I've seen it.
Video Music Box always covered it. I was always on the float with Big Pun, Fat Joe, Tony Sunshine, the whole Terror Squad. Big Pun, this shit was hilarious, bro. Could not get on the float because he was too big. The nigga at the time had to be 500, damn near 600 pounds. Yo, Big Pun was like huge. I don't know if you've ever met him in person.
Yeah,
I did. I saw him in person.
Pun used to have a bed in his living room.
Yo, you know how we got him on the float? We had to go get a forklift.
Get out of here.
God damn.
Put this nigga on the float. Yo, son. Stop laughing, kid. I was like, nah, this is impossible. Fat Joe was like, fuck that. We got it. I forgot the managers dude. We went around the corner because they couldn't pick the nigga up to put him up there.
Wow.
They had some plywood and some 2x4s and put it on a forklift to get Pun on the float.
Damn.
Yeah. I actually
a little sensitive, but the shit was funny to me.
Yo, this shit's funny. Yeah. That's just funny.
That shit was funny.
Now I'm about to do your jail workouts because I don't want to be the next Big Pun. I'm in there.
I got a big Pun story. And it actually was on one of the Puerto Rican Day parades. I'm standing outside on the corner, and Big Pun pulls up to me and asks me directions. How could he get out? Because he was in a Benz. I've never seen anything like this. He was so big, I couldn't see the driver because I was on one side of the car. I couldn't see who was driving the car. He was that big. He was blocking the driver.
Yeah, he's big.
He took up the whole side of the passenger seat of the car.
Wow.
Yeah, but he was a nice dude. I mean, he was mad cool. Yeah,
very nice dude, man.
Yeah.
But he used to be breathing and shit like.
Yeah, he was breathing very heavy. Yes.
They had to bring some like buckets for the nigga to pee in and shit because he couldn't get on and off the float. But I mean, it's yo, bro. It's like those times, man. Those little sensitive times, man. I had these like real crazy, intimate moments. Remember, so being on Video Music Box, I got invited to a lot of shit. So I'll tell you another story. So Mike Tyson, who I used to work for, this is when Mike was in his prime. Mike wanted to start a music label. So I was part of the music label with Mike Tyson. We had this crazy office on Willoughby, downtown Brooklyn. Anyway, he's a Cancer. I'm a Cancer. We celebrate our birthdays together. This is when he had the mansion, the one that 50 bought from him.
Connecticut. Up in Connecticut.
One in Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
So he invited me. He's like, yo, Ray, come, you know, I'm going to give you a room. You can stay overnight. Yo, every celebrity you could imagine, every major artist was there. We partying in Mike Tyson's crib. The shit was dope. So I'm not starstruck or nothing because I'm around all these dudes all the time anyway. So, but for anybody that's coming as your guest, it's crazy for them. They like, yo, this shit is crazy. So Tretch was there, brought some niggas from Newark. I get my own room. It's every room in the house is a duplex. So I fell asleep. Everybody went to sleep, got up in the morning. Niggas got up, figured, and found out that they got robbed. A Rolex, a ring, bracelet, all my shit was gone. Mike Tyson's sister Jackie, her Rolex. Some niggas went through the house while everybody was sleeping and robbed people. Wow. So Mike Tyson gets up in the morning, calls me in the room. He's like, yo, Ray. So I want you to be honest with me. Tell me how much this shit costs, but don't lie to me. Ray. Just tell me what it costs. I'm going to pay for all your shit right now. Just give me a price. I'm paying for everything. Anybody who got robbed, he took money out of a safe, and he was paying everybody for their shit. No, I don't give a fuck how much it costs. The next day, but he goes, yo, I'm going to find out who did this shit, Ray. The next day, Tretch from Naughty by Nature calls me. Yo, Ray, remember the Motown Cafe guys?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, Ray, meet me at the Motown Cafe. You know how wild Tretch is.
Yeah.
Tretch says, meet me at the Motown Cafe, my nigga. I got all your shit back.
Oh, wow.
So what Mike Tyson did was Mike called all the main niggas that he invited who brought people with him. He said, yo, I want you to flush out your crews, your little crews, your little crony niggas that run with you. Flush them niggas out, find out who robbed my shit. And Tretch found out. They beat this nigga to a pulp and got all his shit back.
Wow.
Because when Mike Tyson speaks, people listen.
Back. That's the good one. That's a good one. That was good. That's a great one.
It happens, man. Like, yeah, man.
Yo, Ray, that was great. So, Ray, what else you got going on? Like you said, you have the comedy. You can tell people about the comedy that you do at Linden Diner and all the other stuff, and tell about the trips that you're throwing coming up this summer.
Okay, so my brand, I'm always going to be Video Music Box, but my brand that I created is called Laughaholics. The reason why I call it Laughaholics is because when I came home from doing time, I developed a cocaine problem. I was a bass head. I was going down to Fat Cat on 150, and I was copping those $20 bags from them girls that you couldn't give singles to. I don't know if y'all remember that shit.
Yeah, brother. You know Fat Cat's from around the way, so I know.
Supreme Team and Fat Cat and all of that. I became a drug addict. And this was around the time, a few years after I was out. I put myself in a drug program, came out of the drug program. So because I was an addict before, that's why like now my brand is called Laughaholics, because you can't lose no money. It's not going to mess you up physically. It's not going to mess up your relationship. You could become addicted to laughter. You can laugh all the fuck you want, and you're not going to lose nothing. You use drugs, you lose every fucking thing. That's why I call it Laughaholics. All right, moving forward from that. So I created this brand, and again, thanks to Ralph, I got to meet a lot of people. So any A-list comedian that's out there right now, I have relationships with, whether it's Tracy Morgan, D.L. Hughley, Mike Epps, Kevin Hart, they all started with me. So using my popularity, and I was still on Video Music Box, I used to do my own comedy shows. I would find a restaurant, a bar, a place, and I would do my own show. And I started creating that. And all these guys, Michael Blackson, they all started with me from when I was doing Video Music Box and doing my parties and my events. So when I broke off from Ralph, I decided to create a comedy empire. And from that, it grew over the years. And I book comedians now. I do bigger shows, maybe 4 times a year. And then locally, I have a venue that I operate out of a restaurant. I've been there 15 years consistently. I do Wednesday and Thursdays called Laughaholics Comedy Club. And so now during this pandemic, we weren't able to do anything indoors. So I created I was the first person to do the drive-in comedy series. Dave Chappelle, when he just did his special, the one he did outside, he mentioned me in that. He's like, yeah, my man in Brooklyn was the first one to do the drive-in. And now everybody's doing the drive-in comedy around the country. So I had to get innovative. And I created that, which I'm getting ready to start the old school hip hop series. I'm going to do a drive-in old school hip hop show with Big Daddy Kane in 2 weeks.
Yo, Ray, that's my favorite artist, Ray.
We're coming.
Yeah. So
I'm there. I just want to
I'm going to drive-in. I convinced Slick Rick to do it, and I convinced Kane to do it. So
wow.
Ray, I want my parking spot right there.
Yeah. So can you imagine that? A drive-in show with Kane? Right.
Yeah.
I'm already there. I'm already there.
So I've been able to make a living, put my kids through college. I live comfortably. Just through this brand of doing comedy. I'm very, very particular about how the delivery of it and the professionalism and how the customer's treated from A to Z. I'm really hands-on. And over time, since I always had a humorous personality, I learned how to do stand-up myself. I learned the technical aspects of stand-up. So I put in all these ad-libs that I do here and there. I've been able to structure it into a set. So sometimes I tour with the Queen of Comedy some more. I've been out with D.L. Hughley. I've been out with Bill Bellamy. I feature for them. And it's something that I love. I love being on stage. I love moving crowds. I love being able to, like when you're in front of an audience of 5,000 people, guys, it's like a hell of a feeling. It's drugs to me. It's like, that's my new drug. When you're able to control and move an audience and you watch everybody from the bottom of the crowd all the way to the top, it's like a wave of laughter, man. It's just a hell of a feeling that I enjoy a lot, man. But it was good that I learned the business part first. So because I know the business part, I've been really able to maintain, a good life, man. And again, I thank Ralph because he gave me a shot, man, to put my face and my likeness out there and to be able to meet all these people so I could bring it together. My resources are deep, so last but not least, and this is the first people that I'm telling this. Next week, I'm signing my lease. I'm opening a soundstage comedy club, which is going to be on Washington Avenue and Park Avenue in Brooklyn, 1 block from the Navy Yard.
Beautiful. Dope.
It's going to seat 250 people. My grand opening is going to be sometime in July. I'm in the building phase right now. It's going to be a state-of-the-art $200,000 sound system, a sound stage comedy club. Those are the two loves of my life, and I'm bringing it together. And it's going to be called 275 Park, the home of Laughaholics Comedy Club. And so that's coming. I'm really excited about that. The pandemic has allowed me to get Trump to give me some fucking money that I'm taking, and I'm going to make some good use out of it. I didn't spend none of that because I had Dejon Entertainment now as an LLC for like 20 years. They gave me that bread that I don't have to pay back, but I didn't spend it. Good. All that money is going right into there.
Yeah, so I'm glad you.
Wow.
Better not be buying no Gucci underwear. Tell us about your trips real quick.
Bro.
Tell us about the trip before you back. Tell us about the trips before we wrap up.
So I do this every year. I work with this group called Lady Diamonds, and we do like a vacation trips. We're going to Costa Rica, and the Queen of I just booked the Queen of Comedy some more. She's the headliner of the weekend, and it's great, man. It's like a bunch of us go out. We got 400 people already. We're looking to do about 800 to 1,000 people. We just go to an island, go to Costa Rica to an all-inclusive venue, And we have entertainment every day, theme parties, excursions, comedy show, everything. Super DJs, a lot of different DJs at the event. But it's nice, you know. I don't know if you guys remember, I was the main host at the Cancun All-Star Fiesta. Chris Latimer used to do that back in the days. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, baby Chris.
Yeah, Chris Latimer used to do that in Cancun. I was the main host. And then Ed Lover came on. It was me and him that hosted that for like 10 years in a row until DJ Self and them started coming down there doing free parties. And then they took it over. So it's a lot of history, man. Like
yeah, man.
Yeah. That we've done.
Ray, what's the dates of the trip before we go? What's the dates you got?
July 22nd through July 26th.
And how can people get in touch with you?
Yeah, give out your Instagram and everything that you.
Yeah, my Instagram is at Ray Dejon, RayDejon. I'm a businessman as well, so my website is DejonEntertainment.com. And don't forget to check out my TV show on Amazon Prime. It's called Laughaholics Live. I have about 32 episodes up there. So if you have Amazon Prime, you can check out my show up there. It's called Laughaholics Live on Amazon Prime. So check that out when you get an opportunity.
Yo, Ray, I want to thank you, man, from the back for everybody. Let's chop it up, brother. You know how much I love you, man. Me and you've been friends for decades. You my dude. You know, every time I see you, you always show me love. Like Ray, one thing I say with Ray, I don't care if Ray met 1,001 celebrity people. As soon as I walk through the door, he always showed me love, no matter where it was. Yep. So I always appreciate you for that, man. You always never forgot where you came from. You my dude for life, bro.
So what I'm gonna do for you guys, all four of you, is you know, I don't know if you saw DJ Self do this, but they have the new man weave. The man weave.
This bastard got the last laugh.
Yeah, he's trying to get the last laugh.
That motherfucker, man.
I'm gonna get y'all niggas some permanent waves.
They got the waves of the beards now too, man.
Yo, man.
That's why I'm gonna take my PPP. I'm gonna give me some hair. I'm buying me some hair back, goddammit.
Yo,
thank you, fellas. Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you, Ray.
I can't let that slide. This is our show.
I'll be sure as Ray.
That's good. But I don't know. Rodney. Yeah, Rodney. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but you know you look just like that nigga Bert from Sesame Street, right? You know?
Ray, it's been a pleasure, man. It's been a pleasure.
It's the eyebrows. It's the eyebrows for me, my nigga.
Yo, Ray, man, thank you, man. Love you, man. Tell Jade to say what's up, man. All right, man.